Good morning, everybody. It's JB Portillo with In with Flynn. And in case you didn't know what that means, it means we're going to have an update from Mayor John Flynn today, like we do every month. Yeah?
Morning. It's great to be here.
Well, you know, I kind of sprung this on you at the last minute, but I want everybody to realize that we have 27 fourth graders from Cooper Elementary in our studio audience today.
Yeah, that's great to have the students here. You know, we're so lucky in Bella Vista to have Cooper Elementary in our city. It's a great elementary school, and every time I go over there, I'm so impressed with the kids and how it's run, and it's just a tremendous asset, I think, for the community. Yeah. So you were telling me you thought maybe I should summarize a little what the mayor does.
Do you guys want to know what this guy does? Yeah. All right.
So the mayor of the city is in charge of running the city. It's an elected position, which means that people in the city vote on who they want to be the mayor. And the mayor runs the city along with city council. There's 6 people on city council. And you're actually in charge of all the employees, which is around 210 employees. And of course, the various departments are the police department, the fire, street department, the library, and the planning and development, and the employees in City Hall. And so you run the entire city and are in charge of managing it. And of course, it's a budget. You have to set the budget. And you do all those things in conjunction and with the help of folks on City Council, and of course, the help of all the employees. And I think some of the kids at Cooper are familiar with some of the fire department, police department people, because sometimes they go over there on special occasions and whatnot. And so it's a good opportunity for kids to see some of the things going on there.
So this is a part-time job, Mayor Flynn?
That's a good question. No, it's actually a full-time job. The city council jobs are part-time, but the mayor's job is full-time.
And sometimes 24/7, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when I first got elected, that's what people said to me. Now, you know, this is 24/7. So you always have your cell phone on in case someone calls middle of the night or something happens. So, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And, you know, I love the people of Bella Vista and love the kids. And the employees are excellent. It's really enjoyable working with them.
We may have some budding politicians in the audience, so... You know,
yeah.
You never know.
That's right. Speaking of budding politicians, you know, this last year we started something called a youth council, and it has kids that are juniors and seniors in high school. We have 10 young people on it this year, and we meet every month and go over. They meet with different departments and whatnot. And we've been really pleased with that. And the idea is for, you know, the kids to learn more about civics and how the local government operates. So. We've been really happy with the way that's turned out.
Well, let's get started here. What's going on at the street department?
Well, that's a good question. That's one of the big things. You know, City Council's meeting this week on April 21 is the work session, and April 28 is the meeting, the City Council meeting. And one of the big things on the meeting this month is approval of the street department. Each year they go out and get bids for paving the streets and also for applying slurry to some of the streets. And it's a little bit tricky from the street department point of view because they set the budget, you know, in November and December, but they don't know how much it's going to cost. So they have a total amount they spend, and they kind of have a guesstimate how the bids will come in. So we're really happy this year. The bid for asphalt came in at $101.25 a ton. And last year was $111. So as you can imagine, we guesstimated a higher cost than that. So what happens then, we're, you know, ahead of time we decided we're spending $1.8 million on paving streets. So when the bid comes in too low, that means you can pave a few more streets. They have a list of streets that need paving really badly, and some of the ones that are sort of need it will now get promoted to be able to be paved also.
Excellent.
And then on the slurry, which is really a preservative, it actually went up in price. It went up to $288 a square yard from $275 a square yard last year. And that was a little bit higher than we expected. So we had some good news and bad news. But overall, we felt good about it. And see, that's an example. So that'll come to the city council meeting this week to be approved by the city council, the expenditure of the funds and approving the contracts and whatnot. So, but that's one of the big things on the docket for this week, so to speak, because it's $1.8 million for the asphalt and $900,000 for the slurry. So it's a big part of the street department's expenditures for the year.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if any of our studio audience or our audience remembers the statue Marilyn. Can you give us a little history on that? And she's moved again, hasn't she?
Yeah, just this last week we moved the Marilyn Monroe sculpture. It was over at the Treehouse Park, which is off of Reardon Road.
But it was first where?
Well, it was first at City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a few years ago, we moved it to Treehouse Park. And just this last week, we moved it over to the library. We've kind of been thinking about being at the library for some years. And so we did get it moved over there. It's a sculpture that was donated to us by a relatively famous regional sculpture artist in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And so it was actually the first significant artwork that the city had. And it's very
contemporary.
Modern. Yeah, contemporary. That's a good word for it. Doesn't look just like Marilyn.
No.
Yeah. But it's stainless steel. It's a nice sculpture. And we've got some pamphlets in the library that explain the sculpture that I think would be helpful to people to look at one of those and see what the artist was thinking, what the various things mean.
Something about she read her horoscope every morning or something, so there's something in there, the moon and the stars, I don't even remember, but it's really kind of cool if you would go and look at that sculpture sometime and understand through the artist's eye what he was trying to say about Marilyn Monroe. I can't get it, I can't do it, but a lot of people can.
Yeah.
All right, so a big thing that's going on right now and has been going on right now and is still going on through today, I understand, is the state legislature is voting on some things that could affect Bella Vista and other cities in the state.
Yeah, what the state legislature in Arkansas does, they meet every 2 years on general matters, and they meet they start in January and then go through April. Actually, this year their last day is April 16, which is today. And it happens that some of the laws they pass, in particular, affect cities. So they're about city things. So we pay a lot of attention to that. And sometimes they propose things we're not particularly happy with. So today's the last day, and it actually affects some of our plans, what we do. We kind of have to wait and see what laws, for instance, the new code reform, some of the things they propose might affect that, our zoning code and whatnot. So we kind of have to wait till they're done to proceed ahead with what we're going to do. So we're glad that today's the last day. And there was a few things they proposed we weren't too enthused about, which have not passed. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. If they vote on it today, then it goes to the governor's. Does she have to sign off on these?
It's very similar to how the federal government's set up. They have a Senate and a House of Representatives in the state, and it has to pass both of those. Then it goes to the governor, and the governor, it's not official till she signs it, although her relationship with the legislature is such that you can usually tell things are going to be signed.
Yeah. What if somebody would want to challenge that later? Is that a possibility? Could something change, or how does that work?
Oh, challenge the law? You mean it would have to be on grounds that it was unconstitutional or something like that. So that would, that'd
not
be.
just, I don't like that law. It can't be that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I got you. Okay, so we've got a really big troop, I guess, a bunch of people in Bella Vista that care about litter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got a group called Bella Vista
Litter
Patrol, BVLP, yeah, and they have really taken the bull by the horns, so to speak, and been very active in trying to improve our situation on litter, and very successful, I would say. And it just happens that April is Litter Awareness Month, so I'm going to have a proclamation and read it at the City Council meeting. And of course, in late March, we had our 6 and 60, where we go out and pick up litter on Highway 71.
That's another group
Yeah.
that does that.
Yeah.
6 and 60.
Yeah, Tim Pashar started that. It's been going for 6 or 7 years, and it's been pretty successful. But this other group is kind of trying to expand things and do things about litter at other times. And actually, just by happenstance, last night we had a public meeting about it was Republic Services, about expanding their services at their location where it's really a transfer station. It's located in northern Bella Vista. And it's what they do is all the garbage comes there and it gets transferred to a larger vehicle, and then it's taken up to Lamar, Missouri, which is about an hour north of Joplin. So that's where the garbage dump is, where our garbage goes to. So they had a public meeting because they wanted to expand how much tonnage they do. And some people were there talking about litter and talking with them about litter. And it was very collegial type of atmosphere. So it was a good thing. The people that came were from the Bella Vista Litter Patrol, actually.
Great.
So, yeah.
Yes. That's good. Yeah, and let's just remind everybody, because this always comes up. There are a lot of utilities are usually run through the city. In our case, we have a different wastewater organization, and we have a different the recycle center and the garbage pickup.
Right. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of different entities involved there. Yeah.
And Carroll Electric and other people. So.
Yeah, there's quite a few different utilities involved one way or another with life in Bella Vista and have an effect on the quality of life.
But we're also a couple of other really cool things, like.
Yeah, April's kind of turns out to be a big month. It's also a month where Bella Vista has a designation as a Monarch City, USA. And the way we got that is we have people plant particular types of plants, as you know, that would attract monarch butterflies. So actually the exact day for that was April 11, but we kind of celebrate it really the whole year and certainly the whole month. But, I'm really pleased about how much people like the environment and care about the environment in Bella Vista, because we have the litter awareness, and we're a Monarch City, USA. We're also been named a Tree City, USA. And, one thing a lot of people don't think about is our Bluebird Society is incredibly active. We have over, and that's a national thrust of having, trying to repopulate the bluebird. But in Bella Vista, we have over 600 bluebird nesting houses.
Yes.
So Bella Vista is particularly active in that area, and you see them around town a lot. They can be at people's homes, but also on the golf courses and different quasi-public places, I guess you'd say. So, but they will tell you certain ways. You have to get the bluebird house and set it up in a certain location and do certain things for it to be successful in attracting them.
I have one in my yard. And I went out the other day, and there were beautiful little blue eggs in there.
Oh, really?
And then I went out a day later, and I was mowing, and I thought, I wonder what's going on there. And there were little naked babies in there. So
really,
yeah, it's kind of fun to watch them.
That's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's do. Let's take a quick break. And then we'll come back and talk about some other things that are going on. And then, if there's time, I believe our studio audience may want to ask you some questions.
Okay, that
Alrighty?
sounds great.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dave Todd, president of Todd Films. We work alongside Bella Vista Community Television to produce some of the content you see aired here. Have you thought about reaching your customers through a television ad? We have several options for you to consider. They range from coming to our studio here, or going to your place of business, or on location. Once you have your commercial, Bella Vista Community Television has several options for you to consider for airing your commercial. Do you have a live event that you would like to capture on video? We also offer live production packages that may be of interest. Please continue to tune in to Bella Vista Community Television. We hope you are enjoying this program. And now back to the show.
Okay, we're back. You know, here is a subject that I would like maybe for us to explain, not only for the kids, but also for adults. The city has ordinances, and then they have
Resolutions.
Resolutions,
Yeah.
Okay. So would you talk about a little bit about how all that fits into our zoning and our code? We're looking at our code.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what's the code?
Yeah. Oh, well, the code is the code of ordinances of the city, and that's all the laws that the city has. And in this particular case, when we talk about the zoning and code reform, it's a part of the code that has to do with zoning and with planning. And as you know, that particular area has to go to the Planning Commission first and then goes to City Council. So we've been working with outside consultants group from Tulsa for over a year now, about a year and a half, putting together our new code. It definitely needed improving and to be more consistent. And you know, as you live with a code for a while, people that work for the city see things and they say, oh, well, this doesn't work so well. We ought to change this, or this seems to give people a problem. So it gives you a good opportunity to improve it based on real-world experience. Mm-hmm. And as you know, the Planning Commission, you know, you'll oftentimes see people come in for variances for the same problem over and over. And then Daniel Ellis, man who's the head of the Planning Commission, says, gee, maybe we should change something here because we keep seeing this same question coming up over and over. So between the Planning Commission and some of the city employees, you have a good opportunity, I think, to improve things based on seeing things that, well, maybe this isn't working the best. We need to change this law a little bit. So that's what we're doing, really, is having one big change to all those laws. And that's a big thing. It affects people who are building in particular, you know, because there's a lot of building and development going on in Bella Vista. So it's very important to get it as good as it can be.
Speaking of that, just a little out of turn, how many homes last year?
Yeah, we continue to be, Bella Vista is very popular and a lot of people want to live here. And last year we had 636 new homes, and that is the highest in the last 15 years or so. And so far this year, the rate is even higher than that. So I'm not trying to encourage that. It's just happening naturally.
Right.
You know, people want to live here, and sometimes it's hard to buy an existing house because people who are living here are staying in their house.
That's right. They don't want
to go. So the new houses really are meeting a need in that people, you know, Northwest Arkansas in general and Bella Vista in particular have just been very popular the last few years. People like the quality of life here. And you know, one of the things I said at the top of the show about the nice elementary school, that's the kind of thing that attracts people. You know, if you have a safe community, and you have good schools, that's the kind of thing people look for.
That's it. And we don't have a Bella Vista school district, but we service, or we have Cooper, which is Bentonville.
Yeah.
We've got Gravette.
Yeah.
And isn't there one in Pea Ridge too, or is it
There's a
only
little
those
tiny
two?
bit maybe of people are in Pea Ridge schools, but yeah, so it's mainly Bentonville schools and Gravette schools that folks are in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And of course now there's all these different charter schools and private schools and whatnot you could go to if you choose. So.
Study of impact fees, what does that mean?
Well, you know, an impact fee is a fee that you charge people that are building a new house or a new building, new commercial building, and it's based on the fact that you have to do things in the city because of the growth. So it's just a charge for people building something new. And we started our impact fees 3 or 4 years ago when I was on city council. And we had really no complaints about it from the builders. So on a new house right now, it's about $1,100. And after a few years, you kind of need to restudy it and see because things change, see what's happening with the city, and should those fees change in some way.
So what, maybe you just said, and maybe I missed it, but what do you mean by impact?
Oh, well, I think the name impact fee comes from the fact the growth has an impact on the city. But a simple example is, say the city's growing and now you have to hire more police.
Gotcha.
So you have to hire 2 or a couple more policemen, then they need a police car to drive, and so you have these extra expenses that are solely because of the growth. So that's the point of it.
Okay. All right, let's do a real quick update. We're updating the trail master plan, right? After the regional plan finishes.
Yeah, it's been 10 years, believe it or not. Our last trail plan was 10 years ago. And so it's time to have things change, and some things were done that were different than what we first thought. And so it's time to kind of take a look at things and have a refresh of it, so to speak. And the whole region is doing it first, so we're waiting for them to be done, and then we'll start in on ours and take a fresh look at that.
So on Saturday, I'm one of them, so this is exciting for me.
Yeah.
You're doing your annual tree giveaway.
Yeah, we give away trees in the fall and the spring, and they come from P.O. Compton and indirectly from Walton Family Foundation. So people can sign up online and get a free tree, and we gave away 275 this spring. So it's going to be on Saturday where people actually pick them up. But they'll have some more. If you're not signed up now, they'll have some more in the fall.
Yeah.
So it's very generous of the Walton Foundation. They give us the trees every year. Every community in Northwest Arkansas, they do this. And they also give us trees to plant in the canopy on the trails and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So.
And it's almost time for farmers market.
Yeah, that starts May 4, and it'll be going throughout the summer. It'll be going until October. So it should be at the same location over by Mercy Way.
Okay.
And it's been going pretty well, I thought, the last few years. It's improving all the time. So it's on Sunday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay. We all look forward to that. And we do that on Sunday because we don't compete that way with Gravette and Bentonville, and they have theirs on Saturday. So this way people can go to all of them.
Yeah, and some of the vendors also can be at both. Yeah,
exactly.
Which is helpful.
Okay, and we're having our annual, I guess it's an annual thing now.
The city garage sales.
Yeah.
April 25 and 26, and people can sign up for that. And then there's a map. And so there's people all over the city having a garage sale at the same time. And people like to go to garage sales. It's fun for them. That way they can look at the map and go to a whole mess of different places the same day.
That's it.
So.
Okay, I'm trying to leave a little time here for these questions because I know our audience is anxious to talk to you, but I think we've got a couple more things here. Forward 2050, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a new plan. There's regional type people, Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission, and they help people in the various communities get grants. For instance, the Mercy Way Bridge was a grant, ended up being $7 million, and we didn't have to pay for it because we got a federal grant, and the Walton Foundation helped us some with that also. But you can't get grants in your communities unless you have an overall plan. So this is mainly a highway plan, Forward 2050. And they had a public meeting the other day. They had one in Fayetteville. Then the next day they had one in Bentonville. And, people can go down there, look at the maps, put in their input, suggestions they might have about particular highways or maybe things they noticed. And so it's a chance for the people actually to put their 2 cents worth in. But
Yeah.
hey, I'd like to have a road over here or whatever. And examples of what's happened in Bella Vista is the way I-49 goes around the west side of the city now. So we have a little less traffic on 71 during rush hour right through the center of town than we did before. Things like that.
Gotcha.
So they're kind of looking at the big picture all over the whole area.
Okay.
So.
And the Tanyard Creek driving range is open. Yay!
Yeah, I thought that was. I just thought I should give a shout out to that. You know, a lot of these things are done by the POA, and people don't really think about it the way I would, since I'm running in the city. You know, when the POA does something nice, it's good for the city because it makes the city better than it was, and from my point of view, the city doesn't have to spend any money. So anytime there's a new restaurant or, you know, no matter who it is, or a new facility, and in that case, the new driving range is a great improvement. I've been out there a couple of times. The driving range that's not hit the ball straight for you. You still have to do that yourself.
Darn
I found
it.
that out. But one thing they have really inside that some people were aware of, I wasn't, they said, well, they have a simulator in there, and it's a big screen, and it has 50 different golf courses on there. This is the part I didn't know about. They have like Pebble Beach and TPC Sawgrass and all these different golf courses. So you actually go in there and hit the ball, and the screen has a computer, and it tells how your ball went. And then it shows the course and shows your ball bouncing along. So you can actually play those different courses. And
I think there are other games on there
Yeah.
too, you know, other than golf. So it's really a good family place to go.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like it'd be a fun thing.
Yeah.
So
All right, you ready for a couple of questions from the audience?
absolutely,
All right.
that'd be great.
So if the first, I tell you what, say your name and then ask your question into the microphone.
Nolan. Mullet. What
What
do you
you-
expect for the future in this city?
What do I expect for the future in the city? I think in the case of Bella Vista, it's going to continue to grow in population. And what we're going to try to do is continue to keep the nice parts of the city, you know, the open space like the golf courses, the common property, the lakes, and so that we can have growth but still have a nice quality of life. And because people like the outdoors and the environment in Bella Vista, you know, so we want to have growth but not destroy all those nice things, to do both. So that's what I think will happen.
Gotcha. Okay, who's next?
Hunter Bull, what is the biggest challenge of being mayor?
Ooh, what's the biggest challenge
that's a
of
good-
being mayor?
That's a good question. I think probably I would say the biggest challenge is resources are finite and you only have so much money. So you want to do things that people will like and keep people happy. But at the same time, there's only so much money to achieve those things. So it's kind of a constant challenge. For instance, fixing the roads and keeping the people happy, but yet staying within your budget. I'd say that's the biggest challenge.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. We got time for one more, I think.
What's it like running the city?
What's it like running the city? Well, it's I find it pretty interesting myself. I think it's fun. One of the interesting things about the job is it has different aspects. Some of it are kind of public or social aspects, like doing this show. Or one day I went over to Cooper Elementary and spoke to some students. Or somebody at church might say, hey, will you come give a speech to us? But then on the other hand, it has parts of the job that are very much like any job, any business would be, where you go to the office and you're working with the employees and, you know, you're trying to accomplish things, finish this contract or talk to somebody about making an agreement about something.
The hard stuff.
Yeah, so it has two sides of it that are very, very different from each other. So it's kind of unusual that way. It kind of has the social, public aspect and the and the sit in the office and crank things out aspect. So.
Well, I know you do a lot of talking on art and things like that in the community as well. Okay, you know what? Let's thank our studio audience and invite them. Okay, teachers, I'm putting something in your mind for future. It might be fun for you to come one time to the city council meeting. And our next one is the 28th, correct?
Yeah.
The 28th of April. It's kind of fun sitting there and finding about how what he does and what the city council does together. And it's kind of a continuation of what you might have learned today.
Yeah.
So thank you, guys. We appreciate you. And Mayor Flynn, we always enjoy talking to you. I look forward to this every month to see what you're up to.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. It was fun having the studio audience today.
We'll see you next month. Take care. This is JB Portillo for Bella Vista Community Television.